number just crossing. So it did come in at 1%, slightly lower than the survey of 1.1% and slightly lower than the prior month, which was 1.3%. Personal consumption actually coming in a little bit stronger, 0.4%, consensus for 0.2%. And then, of course, we are also awaiting later on the University of Michigan confidence number. That comes out in about 20 minutes time. We'll bring that to you as well. Economics editor Michael McKee standing by. Michael.
Well, Deirdre, this is kind of a funny report. Just taking a quick glance at it, the number overall is lower, but the mix is better. This is the kind of thing that economists like to see. Personal consumption, as you mentioned, is higher. So is business spending, spending on structures, spending on equipment and software. So it looks like people didn't completely shut their wallets. Corporations didn't completely stop spending during the second quarter. Wasn't great, but it was better than initially reported. The real problem comes in exports and inventories. Inventories weren't built up as much as the Commerce Department initially estimated, and trade so far a drag. We still have some trade numbers to get in the next revision, but trade didn't contribute as much to growth this time as we thought. So while the overall number is not good, and it certainly suggests the U.S. economy is at stall speed, the mix of what we see is a little bit better than we saw the first time.
Michael, you just mentioned the U.S. economy being at stall speed. We saw in this GDP data inflation a little bit of a drag, which brings us to the point that this time is much different in Jackson Hole. You were there last year. You remember when deflation was actually the dark cloud. But now with inflation rising around 2% so far this year, it's a different picture.
Yeah, and that's another good reason why Ben Bernanke probably not going to take a strong position on additional quantitative easing right now, because that was a major reason last year he was focused on the idea of the Fed taking further action. At this point, inflation is higher, and he has said that the trade-off isn't necessarily there anymore. You might do more, but get more inflation out of it than you get growth.